I'm always asked, what's the catch with these branded residences? Everywhere you look nowadays, there's a branded residence being launched. Armani, Fendi, Bugatti, even Versace is getting into real estate. And while it sounds exclusive and luxurious, I have to tell you, this could be one of the sneakiest ways that developers are milking investors around the world for their cash. Today, we're diving deep into the branded residences, from Miami to Dubai, Bali to Phuket. And I'll show you exactly why this trend exists, what actually works, and why you need to think twice before buying into the hype. Let's get into it. So here's the truth. Branded residences were never really about you, the buyer. They are a marketing strategy. With real estate markets cooling off in many countries and high-end inventory sitting unsold, developers are looking for any edge. And slapping a luxury brand on the building, well, that's a story that can sell. Creates the illusion of exclusivity, prestige, and quality. But let's be honest, in most cases, the brand has nothing to do with the construction, management, and long-term value. They simply license their name. That's it. So who really wins? Well, it sounds obvious, but let's get into the details. The developer gets to raise prices by 20 to 30%. The brand, on the other side, collects royalties for doing absolutely nothing. And the investor often ends up paying more for the same bricks and concrete. And guys, it's been happening around the world, so let's take a look at some examples. First, we're gonna go to Miami and the Porsche Design Tower and the Armani residences. In Miami, the Porsche Tower lets you park in your car inside the tower via an elevator. First world problems, you think.
You're looking at a 60-story glass car elevator. So somebody can drive in this building, they pull into this little secret chamber, and the whole car and you are whisked up to the apartment. This is Miami's ritziest new residence, the Porsche Design Tower.
Nevertheless, sounds cool. But guess what? The resale market has stagnated and rental demand is super niche. I mean, ask yourself who of your connections or friends would actually have this as a requirement to be able to park their car inside their own tower. Most probably, absolutely nobody. That's why most of the appeal is in the name, not the returns. And I could probably judge this because I personally am a Porsche owner and I love the brand, but I would never really look into buying anything branded, as in real estate, by Porsche. Only as long as the actual details and investment feasibility make sense, so you have a good price per square foot versus the alternative options in the same segment. They give you a very affordable and very convenient payment plan that maybe other developers or the bank cannot actually give you, or perhaps buy there, but something actually unique that is very rare and the supply is super limited. And what do I mean by this is basically look in the property, as in the tower, and see how many units are there, as in studios, 1 beds, 3 beds, and so on. And if you notice that there is a very small number of one type of specific units, let's say a 2-bedroom apartment, there are only 5 to 10, then that could possibly be something interesting for you, because there would definitely be some demand at the end of the day, but you will be one of the few owners of that specific type of unit. Nevertheless, let's go to our city, Dubai, and see what are the branded residences that are popping off here, because there are thousands. Right, I'll correct myself. That was a bit exaggerated. There are quite a few, maybe up to hundreds, but still, this is a ton of them. Bugatti, Versace, Dorchester collection, Baccarat, and most recently the Trump Tower. You name it, there are plenty of them. Dubai went all in on the brands. One of the most exclusive and luxurious could be the Bugatti residence by Bugatti, which has been announcing that many superstars worldwide have been buying apartments there, which I honestly think is also a marketing strategy, and most probably they just gave them a very good deal, or even a free apartment to just market it. There is also Armani at the Burj Khalifa. I mean, they have a nice restaurant, but I haven't really heard of my connections and friends and clients that they were looking into that property. And also, even Burj Khalifa, it's not really much demanded. There is one which I personally really like because the architecture is stunning, and that is Lana by Dorchester. This one is definitely something unique and significant, specifically in the Business Bay area, because it's not going to be covered by anything in front, so you'll always have a very beautiful unobstructed view to the Burj Khalifa and downtown. The quality is spectacular, really, really high-end apartments. I've personally been in some and checked them out, but guess what? The prices are also not cheap. That's why on one side, there are some projects that might make sense. They might have more exclusivity and they have some very unique plans, as in the project plan of the apartment. Maybe it's really nice, really convenient to be on the last floor and be in a corner, to have the unobstructed view to 180 degrees of Dubai or even more. But for that price of $20 million or even higher, why wouldn't you diversify your portfolio? Get a couple of villas here or even in Europe, and you'll have a very, very balanced portfolio that won't really crash or even decline in any kind of economic downturn. Because what I like to tell all my investment advisory clients is that I'd rather have a very slight decrease in my portfolio value, let's say a 10 to 20% drop because of whatever reasons in one of my 1 or 2 bedroom apartments, which will equate to around, let's say, 200, 300,000 dirhams, rather than have a 10 to 20% drop in a very expensive branded residence that will probably lose me millions. Also, this is not liquid at all, because if you want to sell it quickly, you are definitely going to be in that specific distress situation where you have to lose some money, and the percentage that you're going to lose on such branded, exclusive, mega luxury residence is obviously going to hurt your budget. And actually, when I was breaking down into some of these projects, I had a really cool conversation with Imad from Wim Real Estate, who's also one of my partners and one of the people who doesn't really blindly sell the hype. He actually runs the numbers and tells you directly if this investment makes sense or not. If you're ever unsure about a project or a upcoming branded residence, then reach out to Wim via the link in the description. They're honestly one of the few agencies that I'd recommend for no fluff and straight up advice on your Dubai investment. Now let's go to Bali and Phuket and cover Kempinski, Banyan Tree, and Intercontinental. In Bali, you've got quite a few branded residences as well, such as the Kempinski at Apurva, charging double the luxury average. Besides that, investors get tied into strict management practices that don't allow them to maximize their returns, and they have no understanding of their returns expectations. Instead of getting into such branded residences like the ones I mentioned, you'd rather just get into a very good villa investment, either that's off-plan or even better getting into a ready one, because in Bali, you can't really benefit off the mortgages. So you're either gonna be asked to pay the price for the off-plan, which most of the cases is 20-30% down payment or even more, and then complete the payments in 1 or 2 years max. But that would obviously limit your investment returns, because if you can simply pay right now or just save up a bit more and buy something outright in the ready market, then you are also able to leverage from the rental income that you're gonna make, because you're gonna be able to rent it out right away. On the other side, in Phuket, developments such as the Banyan Tree or the Intercontinental residences offer really stylish designs, but come with heavy service charges, tight rental control, and of course, limited exit options. Because let's face it, it's very interesting at the beginning when they market it. You're getting into the hype, you want to invest, and you think there will be some appreciation. You also see that they will do all the property management for you, even if they charge you a very, very hefty sum. But then if you want to resell it quickly, no one really is gonna pay the full price because they have other plenty newer options with better amenities that are coming up on the market. So what do you really get from this branded residences and what you don't? What most buyers don't often realize is most of these branded residences often come with much higher service fees, restrictions on renovations and resales, tight rental management rules, and very little say on how your unit is actually handled because they're gonna be the ones who will do this and not you. You're just gonna receive your portion of income, and that's about it. Sure, the lobby looks nice. Sure, the logo is cool. Is it worth paying 25 to 40% more when the rental income is the same or even worse? There are a few exceptions when branded residences do make actual sense. And I've mentioned one in Dubai for the Lana at Dorchester, which I've seen that the investors have actually made some good returns in there, even with the insane prices that they were launched with. But on the other side, there is also Ritz-Carlton residences, there is the Four Seasons or even Amman, where the brand has a real operational control and a very, very strong and high-paying global client network. Something super rare and iconic like the Lana at Dorchester is very premium and you are paying for that. The rental income isn't guaranteed as in the cases of Ritz-Carlton or Intercontinental, but you're definitely getting into a very cool and unique space where definitely will have its buyer in the long term. Just make sure that you have some money so you don't have to sell it off in the moment of panics and any kind of economic downturns. That's why I'd say those are exceptions, not a rule. So next time when you see a brand attached to a real estate development launch, pause and ask yourself, am I buying an asset or am I buying the illusion of status? Don't get distracted by the logos. I know they look nice. I know they have heritage and mean a lot, but they won't return the best ROI for your hardly earned money. Focus on the fundamentals: location, demand, flexibility, and returns. Do a proper investment feasibility and calculate what's the worst case scenario, good case scenario, and of course the best case scenario. But better focus on the worst case scenario because that's the one that might get even worse. So better be ready and prepared before you get into any investment of this kind because the logo won't save you when the market turns. If you ever considered buying a branded residence or are currently looking into one, then let me know in the comments below what was your experience like, and if you have any reviews or insights that you want to share with this community. And if you want more no BS insights into the real estate world, then hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.